Hey everybody, welcome to episode 6 of the Shelf Made podcast. Super excited to have Alex Corren here from Uncanny Wellness to talk to us about everything CBD. I personally don't have a background in CBD. We have a lot of CBD brands on the WeStock platform, and I know that it is an up-and-coming category that is already here in a lot of ways. If you go to Expo West, it takes over essentially a whole side of that trade show, and you know that this is going to be something big. The matter of time is like when and where. And so excited to have Alex here to kind of walk us through some of the pitfalls, what to be aware of, what he's seen so far. And so Alex, I'd love for you to kick it off and just kind of introduce yourself and what Uncanny Wellness is all about.
Yeah, sure thing. Thank you, Cameron. Happy to be on the show with you. I started Uncanny back in 2016 and came at it from more of a background in cannabis production and the science aspect of things. And from the very beginning, we've been focused on using a water-soluble CBD powder in all of our products because it was apparent to me early on that if CBD is going to really go mainstream, it needs to be in a form that's well absorbed in the stomach. You know, like most of what's out there in the wellness department is pills and powders, and CBD oil has a hard time in those formats. That's why like tinctures is the number one CBD product out there, really. That's meant for holding under the tongue. And then, you know, vapes, of course, into the lungs. And then the salves and creams go through the skin. So that's kind of been our differentiator from the beginning, has been this format that's made for optimal absorption in the stomach.
Awesome. And so kind of, can you walk me through kind of maybe a baseline of what people need to know about the CBD market before entering it? I think that what I'm always talked about is like, you can't sell this everywhere, right? There's a lot of restrictions. And so can you kind of walk me through kind of what some of those restrictions are, what the biggest misconceptions are about this market? I think everyone thinks it's a gold rush, but it's almost like everyone's at the race, everyone's at the starting line, but no one's really shut down yet.
Yeah, it's been a very tricky space to navigate. And a lot of the difficulty and the reason that there's not just a clear path forward for both cultivators, processors, and brands is because we're still waiting on FDA clarity. Basically, there was the 2018 Farm Bill that passed, and included in that Farm Bill basically said that hemp products are allowed to be sold and used for the first time. And it's no longer a DEA or drug enforcement agency thing. Now it's an FDA thing. But the FDA has yet to update their position since before that 2018 Farm Bill. So if you go onto their website, technically CBD is not allowed in food, drinks, or supplements. And you might be thinking, well, literally every CBD product I've seen is either a food, drink, or supplement. And that's part of this weirdness. So it's made it difficult for state and local governments to come out with the right regulations for people to follow because they want to do the right thing and don't exactly have the clarity to do so. And then that trickles down to being difficult for retailers that want to bring CBD onto the shelf and figuring out what the best way to do it is. There's this sense of not really knowing how to tell what products are quality, but across the board, any quality CBD brand should be transparent about their business practices, about what's in their formulas and in their products, and should be able to provide the consumer that is asking questions with the information they're looking for. And unfortunately, there are a lot of brands out there that, it's more so just putting their own label on something that's really not any different than other products out there, and is more just, like you said, trying to tap into that gold rush. But it's not that simple because it's a complicating space to be in.
And so where can you sell right now? I mean, where, if I were to start tomorrow, what are the markets I'm focusing on? What are the kind of the retail outlets that I'm focusing on? Like, where is like kind of open season for this product right now?
Yeah, so slowly but surely more and more retailers are taking on CBD. Like, for example, when I started this company, it was only independent natural food stores, no chains. And then we started to see some bigger chains pick it up, like Lucky's Market, before they went bankrupt, carry our products nationally. And now, like Natural Grocers or Vitamin Cottage, they have ingestible CBD products for sale in the form of like supplements. And even Whole Foods now is ever so slightly dipping their toes in the water, only with topical CBD products. So, apart from that world of retail, there's the direct to customer market, which is still strong and just selling online direct to individuals. And then, what we do, which is kind of unique, is we actually sell our water soluble CBD powder to coffee shops and smoothie bars and places that offer it as like an add-on or boost to anything on their menu. So there's really no like general policy or general rhyme or reason. It more depends on either the local authorities, what their position is, or the owners of the grocery store and what risk they're willing to take.
Got it. And then in terms of like quality control, I think that this is kind of like an area that's still kind of gray here. I think, I love all the CBD brands we have, but I have heard kind of the same pitch from every single person. Like, we're the only person doing X, or we have the highest
Hmm.
quality CBD. And I think for the consumer, right, I don't necessarily think they're reading and saying, "Oh, wow, this is grade A versus grade B," or
Right.
whatever. They don't have that context yet of what is good CBD versus bad CBD. So, what do you need to be aware of as a consumer? What are you looking for here?
Yeah, that's a great question. It takes some education. It takes a bit of a conscious effort to really uh, tell what quality means in this space. And I think the best brands out there are the ones defining what quality means. But generally, I'd say that most people out there want a product that's either made with a full or broad spectrum extract. That means that it's more of a holistic extract. It's not just the CBD stripped away from everything else. That would be called an isolate. Isolate's kind of the cheapest form of CBD. So your gas station gummies, those are going to be isolate. And then more of your like holistic and natural product approach, it's going to be more of a full or broad spectrum extract, it has its own unique benefits to it. And then the other aspect of quality is just, again, the transparency. Because it's an unregulated space, because it's so young, there's this tendency for uh, kind of getting out in front of what the regulations are, because it's like anticipating what the right thing to do is before someone's making you do it.
Right.
So what I and other brands have done is just put a QR code right on the packaging that any consumer can scan and get the certificate of analysis that shows the CBD and THC levels and what's actually in the product.
Yeah.
Because a lot of companies don't, and you just have to take their word for it. And unfortunately, the trap that a lot of people end up falling into is, these companies that are very vocal and saying, "Hey, our CBD is going to cure this or treat that or whatever." That's actually the one rule for what we can't do in the CBD space, is make health claims. So it should be an immediate red flag for consumers if any brand is making specific health claims, because then they're basically saying, no rules, screw it, we're throwing it all out the window, we're just going to make some sales here.
Yeah, no, I think that's interesting. I mean, there's definitely going to be a thinning out. I think we see so many brands that are out there right now. I think there's going to be a thinning out. I think being proactive and being able to educate the consumer base is key.
Hmm.
I think your approach to food service, obviously COVID's probably affected that a little bit, but
Certainly.
it's definitely tough. But I think the approach to food service is a place for trial of your product,
Hmm.
and then getting them to adopt it in food service and then support it in retail is critical, and one that people don't do enough, not just in CBD but just across the board. So I definitely, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Are you seeing, is that driving trial in retail usually before COVID?
So the translation into retail, it has been, I think, less clear, and I think so much of that is because it's not like a direct, clearly legal path. Like sometimes your local grocery store may have quite a cumbersome or tedious process for accepting new CBD products onto the shelf. I've seen maybe more of a translation from someone trying it in their latte at the coffee shop and then ordering it from our website,
Awesome.
and which is great as well.
Very cool. Well, so on the top of the website, obviously kind of wrapping up here, where's the best place that people can find you? And then also personally, maybe reach out to you if they have any questions about CBD or just your product or just kind of the market in general.
Yeah, sure thing. Our website is uncannywellness.com, and we ship nationwide. A great resource that I've been building over the years is actually our YouTube channel. All the videos are on our website too, but I really am passionate about educating people so that they can make the best decisions for themselves. So if you're looking for just kind of like some good basic information and want to hear me nerd out more about this, yeah, check out those videos. And then if you want to reach out, just the contact form on our website is the best place to do so.
Awesome, Alex. Yeah, I know this is definitely a super competitive space, and it's getting saturated, quick, fast, and in a hurry. But it's good to definitely have somebody like you kind of leading the way and just kind of providing some guidance for anybody who might be interested in this space. So appreciate it. Thanks so much for joining, and happy to have
Thank
you on.
you, Cameron.
All right, thanks so
Yeah,
much.
appreciate it. Take care.